Today I would like to do a review of Pastwatch by Orson Scott Card, Tour 1997. And it's been nearly a year ago, I guess, Secret Sauce of Storycraft had done a review of this book. And I asked her what she thought. She was kind of ambivalent about it, not sure about it. And she suggested I read it and take a look for myself. And I probably read this 8 or 9 months ago. And I'd done a very brief review of it, but not here on my page or anything. And I thought that I would, actually take another look at the book and look at it again and see what I thought. So here it is. And clearly professionally written and easy to understand. I read the book and it was a major disappointment to me. The writing and characterizations are good. It's written by a professional and you can tell. However, on the first page of the book and throughout the novel, Card tries to trivialize the largest mass murder I've ever heard of in anything, book, novel, history book, whatever. Then he attempts to justify that mass murder, and I'm talking about the entire Earth's population, through a plot device that prevents Columbus from reaching the New World. Now this all comes about through a rewrite of history that ignores the basic and very well documented history of the Mayan, Incan, and Aztec empires. Now Card clearly researched Columbus and his life in Europe and what he was about, and I looked it up too. Now this does reveal Columbus not to be an evil person, probably in just about any time. Now he did a lot of questionable stuff, but he is an agent of his time, as are the Mayans, Aztec, and Incas. But that's a little different story. Cars, it's all the same story, but there's different aspects to that. Card's choice to barely cover what is known about the Mayan, Incan, and Aztec empires and cultures is really a big omission, and that is, I researched all of that again, so I would be sure I knew what I was talking about. Now that may be because these histories, they never really developed the wheel, and they had no concept of human civil rights whatsoever. That would completely undermine the novel's entire concept. And that concept is the thought of the main character, Tagiri, who starts out in her mid-teens in the novel, and she's very interested in history and research, and she surmises that going back in time and preventing the discovery of the New World through this Pastwatch time observation project and program that is ongoing, she can pinpoint events that would allow the Mayan, Incan, and Aztec civilizations to conquer the world, thus saving the Earth from global warming. She plans this for when and if Pastwatch becomes able to send humans back in time, which does happen. Of course, by drastically altering the entire civilization, all the civilizations on Earth's past, everyone alive at the time this is implemented would just cease to exist. We're talking 6 billion people would just poof, vanish. Um, that doesn't sound like a good idea to me. The Mayan, Incan, and Aztec cultures all practice human sacrifice. Now, this is going to get kind of rough here. And there are varying degrees to which what I'm going to say next is agreed to by all the historians. I am going to discuss what I was taught 40, 50 years ago and what I have just researched again. Now, they all practice human sacrifice. Generally, youth, male and female, ritual suicide, ritual vivisection of living human beings, slavery, and cannibalism. The cure seems worse than the disease and very unlikely to happen as Card lays out in the novel. The U.S. had no part in any of this on either side, neither did most other nations. I am talking about the conflict between the Spanish and the South Americans. The Spanish Armada closed off everyone from 1500 to about 1600, when the British finally were able to make some inroads into the New World and started placing colonies in far North America. Now, from 1500 to 1600, the Spanish Armada kept everybody out. Columbus arrived in 1492. The USA did not exist in 1500 in any way, shape, or form, and really not until 1776, almost 300 years later. So I noticed while I was doing this research that a lot of people tried to blame the United States for some of this stuff. At any rate, Card uses this plot device of a revised history with very questionable reasoning and logic to sensationalize a serious topic. Pollution control is serious business, and every manufacturing nation, except for, there's a bunch of them, mostly in Asia and Mexico itself and other places, until they adopt the policies the U.S. had by 1980, this will remain a massive problem. Responsible manufacturing cuts into profit margins, so do not hold your breath for a lot of people to start doing that. And of course they're not, and that's easily looked up. Now, besides all that, before you read this book, you may want to read the history of the Aztec, Incan, and Maya empires, and this is very rough stuff. And you might want to read this, just before you read the novel, just satisfy your own curiosity. If Card's plan in the novel would be implemented, the people of Earth may be in far worse conditions than they are now. I include a brief AI link history, and you can click on this link and read the AI history of the Aztec, Mayans, and Incas. And I also include a link to a very neutral Christopher Columbus documentary. There is a massive amount of research available from every conceivable angle, and this is something, I found it very interesting, but I didn't think Card's take on it was very viable or even, not really in the least bit realistic what might happen if his ideas were implemented. At any rate, that's all I have for today. I'll come back with some humor here. I have the Mammoth Book of Comic Fantasy 2, which includes a bunch of hilarious short stories, and I'll do a review on that next. Again, I hope everybody's doing well and having a great day, and we'll see you next time.